Those who were once mere silent spectators now shudder at the sound of your name. This world is not as narrow as you think. A golden crown shining in the sky is being prepared for you. Yes, some thought you were ordinary. Others tried to stop you on your way. But your destiny has been rewritten. You are protected by invisible hands, and with every step, you move a little closer to a divine reward. The golden crown awaits you, a symbol of your patience and unwavering faith. No one can underestimate your true power anymore. Write 111 in the comments now, because as you continue on this path, the gates of the unseen kingdom will open before you one by one. Think of your life as a single candle set in the window of a lonely house on a stormy night. The wind howls and rain beats the glass, but the flame holds steady, giving light to everyone who passes, even as the room grows cold and empty behind you. You are that steady flame, the quiet strength that draws lost souls, giving them comfort when the darkness feels too thick to cross. It isn't a job you volunteered for. It's the mantle that was gently but persistently laid on your shoulders by a world in desperate need of warmth. People come and go, warming their hands at your glow, but few ever notice how much wax has melted away, how much you have burned through just to keep the room from going dark. You find yourself surrounded by crowds who say your name, but none of them hear the quiet creak in your spirit as you hold up the roof for everyone else. In every gathering, you notice the subtle shift, the way you are the one holding the tension, the peacemaker, the one who quietly absorbs the hurts, the worries, the anxious glances. You have become the silent backbone of so many stories, carrying the weight of others' heartbreaks and anxieties in the hope that someone, somewhere, might notice the silent service you offer. Each season in your life stretches that distance between what you pour out and whatever comes back your way. The ledger of your soul, though invisible to others, has kept careful score. Every late-night phone call answered, every comfort you gave when your own heart needed holding, every tear you wiped away for someone else while yours went unseen. Like a river that keeps flowing long after the rains have stopped, your compassion endures, fueled by a source the world does not see. Your smile became your shield, a gentle mask worn to spare others the sight of your fatigue. There were days when you felt as if you were giving from a well that never ran dry. Yet when night fell and silence settled over the house, you alone heard the echo of your own longing for rest, for someone to tend to you as faithfully as you've tended to everyone else. You learned to wear joy like a garment, to greet the world with encouragement and optimism, even when your spirit felt worn thin. You learned the art of silent sacrifice, letting others bask in the sunshine of your presence, while you found your peace in the hidden places of prayer and whispered hopes. It was never about being a martyr. It was about carrying a light that was needed, holding steady when others could not. And still, the days rolled on. The crowds came and went, and your name was known, but your story rarely asked for. This became the background music of your life, the constant hum of caring for others, the rhythm of saying yes when no would have been the healing word for your own soul. Each act of giving, each moment of shrinking your needs, was a thread woven into the fabric of your character. Others may not see the tapestry in the making, but heaven surely does. For every silent sacrifice, there is a record kept in realms beyond this world, a ledger where nothing is wasted, and every tear you have hidden is counted as a seed for future harvest. There is something sacred in the way you carry the invisible burdens, something divine in the way you show up, again and again, even when your own spirit is running on fumes. You were not chosen because you were the loudest or the strongest, but because your heart was willing to be a vessel for grace. Others may take for granted the light you give, but those who have truly been warmed by it, those whose nights were made bearable because your candle burned on, know that something holy moves through you. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the Super Thank You button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. Let this be a gentle reminder. Just as a tree with deep roots can weather any storm, your soul is sustained not by applause or acknowledgement, but by a wellspring that cannot be seen by mortal eyes. The blessings you pour out will return to you in ways you cannot predict. When the seasons change and new winds begin to blow, you will find your own cup being filled, not by those who drained it, but by the one who sees every secret offering. The story of your life is not written in isolation, but in the quiet, faithful giving that only the chosen ever truly understand. This, beloved, is the quiet strength of the chosen. It's not about being above anyone else. It's about carrying a light that refuses to be put out. And in that persistence, you invite the dawn for others, even as you await the sunrise meant for you. Picture a sprawling garden that once had no fences, paths wide open for anyone to wander in, pick the flowers, rest in the shade, or walk off with handfuls of fruit, never pausing to wonder who tended the soil. For years, that garden was an open invitation, your kindness like sunlight that reached every corner. But seasons change, and there comes a time when the gardener, wise and weathered, must build a gate, not to keep out love, but to honor the sacredness of what has grown within. Suddenly, those who once drifted in without a second thought are met with a gentle gate and a sign that reads, "Please enter with gratitude, not entitlement." If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. This transformation isn't about closing your heart or locking up your spirit. It's about finally recognizing the divine value of your peace and the worth of your presence. Where once there were no boundaries, there now stand living hedges, soft enough to welcome those who come in goodwill, but strong enough to discourage those who come only to take. It's not punishment, it's permission to rest, to heal, to tend your own roots without fear of depletion. The ones who grew used to your open door policy now stumble at the threshold, surprised by the invitation to knock. Their confusion is real, but so is the quiet empowerment rising within you. For the first time, you're saying, "My spirit is not a public highway, but a sacred path. If you wish to walk with me, let it be with reverence." Some may linger at the edge, unsure if they're welcome in this new landscape. Others will protest, mistaking your boundaries for rejection, not realizing they are a bridge to true relationship, a place where respect must be mutual and giving goes both ways. As the garden flourishes behind its new gates, something beautiful happens. The flowers grow brighter, the fruit ripens richer, and the air is thick with peace that cannot be stolen. Those who truly value you will find the courage to walk through the gate with open hands, ready to give as much as they hope to receive. The takers, unprepared for reciprocity, will drift away, seeking easier harvests elsewhere. You'll grieve some departures, but rejoice in the company that remains. The souls who understand that love, to be real, must be freely offered and gratefully received. In this new season, your boundaries become your blessing. Like the riverbank that gives shape to the flowing stream, your lines of self-respect don't limit your love. They amplify it, guiding its current so it nourishes all it touches without running dry. Where there was once exhaustion, there is now renewal. Where you once gave from emptiness, you now pour from abundance. And the peace you protect will multiply, feeding not only your soul, but all who come in kindness and truth. This is not the end of generosity. It is the beginning of wise stewardship. In learning to honor your own garden, you teach others to honor it as well. The lesson is simple, but profound. The greatest harvest comes not from endless giving, but from knowing when to build a gate and how to welcome those who truly cherish the beauty inside. In this, you discover that boundaries are not walls. They are the gates to deeper connection, richer love, and a life finally lived on purpose. Think of a well in the heart of a village, long relied upon by thirsty neighbors, always offering water, never running dry. At first, folks arrived with buckets, grateful for the life the well gave. But over time, a few stopped saying thank you, dipping into your reserves without so much as a glance upward, certain that refreshment was their right, not your gift. One day, something shifts. A simple sign appears beside the stones. Water for those who bring an offering, whether kindness, a helping hand, or even a genuine word of thanks. Suddenly, those who came empty-handed pause at the edge, eyes wide, unaccustomed to the idea that the well might not flow on command. Some stomp their feet, angry that the free flow has changed. Others plead, recalling better times, hoping to turn the spout with memories alone. But the old strategies, guilt, manipulation, neediness dressed as affection, dry up in the new air of accountability. It's not that the water is gone, it's just protected now, cherished for its value, reserved for those who honor the source. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the Super Thank You button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. In this new era, the family table is set differently. Plates are not just given, they are shared, each person bringing their own bread, their own offering. Conversations, once one-sided, become a true exchange. You're no longer the silent provider who quietly refills every cup. Instead, you invite others to co-create the meal, to recognize that belonging comes with the courage to both give and receive. The days of family first, as a one-way street, are over. The new creed is shared respect, honest effort, and the unspoken rule that no one drinks forever from a well they never tend. Some ties loosen as old dynamics dissolve. You grieve the ones who fade, but the grief is gentle, softened by the peace of living in truth. The shield you've built around your spirit is not a fortress. It's the fence around a treasured spring, reminding all who approach that your soul too must be cared for. As you honor your own worth, you teach the world a quiet lesson. Real love does not ask for endless sacrifice. It asks for presence, fairness, and the willingness to meet each other at the well, bucket in hand, ready to give as much as you hope to receive. In the end, what remains are not just bonds of obligation, but genuine connections, relationships shaped by respect, made strong by reciprocity, and sustained by a well that now, finally, is allowed to refill. This new standard doesn't make you less loving. It makes your love real, lasting, and free from the debts that weighed your heart down for so long. And those who step up, who bring an offering, who choose the honest work of mutual care, these are the souls you'll gather at your table, sharing a feast of joy and peace, season after season, as your well runs deep and clear. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. Think of yourself as a mighty oak that's finally broken through the tangled forest. Now, your branches claim the morning sun, not just for the birds who used to perch and pluck at your leaves, but for your own deep, sacred growth. That's the gift of standing firm, chosen one. People who once drifted by your side only in fair weather find themselves lost now that you've drawn boundaries where once there were none. They may talk of your changes, whisper that you've drifted from your roots, but in their hearts, they're just grappling with the fact that your days of being their endless life raft are over. Your spirit no longer pours out on demand. It is gathered up like precious rain, nourishing your own roots at last. Where once every sunrise brought another tug of war between your needs and the world's requests, now you greet the day with a heart that listens for heaven's gentle whisper. What does your soul require? It's a new dawn, where the gift of no is not rejection, but a holy release. A gentle song that sets you free. A melody that makes peace with your own needs. No more running yourself ragged, trying to be all things for all people, just so they can be comfortable while you run dry. This is spiritual graduation, stepping out of the role of rescuer, refusing to shrink so others don't have to stretch. Every time you choose yourself, every time you tend to your own field, you are honoring the very image of God planted in you. It's not selfish, it's stewardship. The old ways measured your value by how much you gave away, how quietly you bled for others, how many times you said yes when your soul was crying for rest. But heaven has rewritten the score. You are not required to be emptied out to prove your worth. The sunrise doesn't check who's grateful. It shines because it's true to itself, and so do you. Let those who only loved the easy version of you drift with the outgoing tide. Bless them and release them, because you are stepping into a season where you honor what God put inside you, not just what others demand from you. You're learning that no is sometimes the most loving word you can speak to yourself and to them. A boundary that protects your purpose, your energy, your very calling. And as you do, watch how peace settles over your home, how clarity arrives in your spirit, how strength returns to your bones. You are not leaving anyone behind. You are simply stepping into the fullness of who you were, always meant to be, with roots that go deep and branches lifted high, catching every ray of heaven's intention for your life. Picture a garden after the storm, sun streaming down through parted clouds, and the richest, most vibrant blossoms rising from earth that once knew only drought. That's the life now unfurling around you. New friendships bloom in the soil you tended with patience and self-respect. People step into your circle not because you rescue them, but because they honor your presence and lift you up as much as you lift them. See how the embers of your dreams, once smothered under the demands of others, begin to glow again, shifting from a faint memory into a steady flame. Each time you choose your own well-being over old obligations, it's as if another ray of light bursts through the clouds, bathing your spirit in warmth. The universe, beloved, always rewards those who finally dare to say yes to their own soul. And there will be moments when the world holds its breath, watching to see if you'll fall back into the familiar role, giving away your time and energy out of habit. But you don't. Instead, you stand as steady as a mountain at dawn. No need to rush, no urge to explain, just a quiet authority that fills the room. The silence isn't empty, it's sacred. That pause is the sound of respect blooming, your spirit being honored in real time, and everyone present realizing that you have finally come home to yourself. This new era is like a field that has lain fallow, now bursting forth with new growth, unexpected colors, bold blooms, fruit that nourishes not just you, but all those you invite into your harvest. You are not just surviving, you are thriving, creating and radiating the kind of light that draws others who are equally committed to truth and goodness. Let this be your reminder. Storms do not last forever. They pass, the earth drinks deeply, and life springs up when no one expected it. Now you get to choose who stands beside you, which seeds you water, and what grows in the sacred garden of your life. That, chosen one, is divine favor in living color. ChatGPT. Picture a mighty oak tree after the storm has passed. Branches still glistening, roots gripping deeper than ever, not a leaf torn by the wind. That's the strength flowing through you, chosen one. The hurtful words and disappointments meant to erode your spirit now roll away like water on bark. No storm can linger. No rain can drench what God has made resilient. This season is teaching everyone around you that boundaries are holy, not selfish. When you stop carrying what was never yours, the burden falls on those who tried to load you down. Watch as those same hands, once reaching to take your peace, now scramble to carry their own consequences. With every clear no you declare, you mend what years of self-denial unraveled. Each moment you claim back is a patch restoring the quilt of your true self, stitch by stitch. And the impact is generational. As you learn to honor your soul's space, others begin to notice. A quiet inspiration spreads like sunrise light through the branches. Children, seeing you protect your well-being, start to understand that real love does not require you to disappear or become small. Instead, it invites them to honor themselves and others from a place of wholeness, not depletion. Even in workplaces or among casual friends, your example becomes a living sermon. People start to realize it's possible to help without losing yourself, to care without giving away your last ounce of strength. Your steadfastness is planting seeds. Tomorrow's leaders, caregivers, and dreamers will remember the one who showed them how to stand tall, gentle, and rooted in dignity. And beloved, know this: the ripple you create now will reach shores you'll never see. You're not just reclaiming lost ground. You're paving new roads of courage for every soul watching your journey. That is the quiet miracle of a life restored. What looked like rebellion is actually a return to the garden God planted in you all along. Picture a sturdy old oak tree planted by a quiet riverbank, its roots going deep into the earth, drawing living water year after year. That tree doesn't bend just because every bird or passing storm asks for a branch. No, sometimes the very act of standing tall, refusing to bow to every demand, causes a few old nests to fall away. But those branches become stronger, the leaves greener, and the tree more rooted in its purpose. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. In this season, it's not surprising that a few voices will try to pull you back into old patterns. Some folks may dust off the memory of every favor you ever gave, stacking it up as a silent debt, hoping guilt might draw you back into their service. They'll toss words like selfish your way, hoping you'll bite, but what's really happening is deeper. Their discomfort is the stretching pain that comes with realizing you were never their possession. The ache they feel isn't about your absence. It's about the loss of control over someone they thought would always say yes. Each time you plant your feet and hold the line, your new boundaries settle deeper into the soil of your life. Some connections will slip quietly away, and that's not a tragedy. It's a sign of growth. Just as the river washes away what no longer serves the banks, your spirit makes room for relationships that truly honor who you are now. Those who only came around for what you could give will drift to new shores, and you'll find yourself surrounded by a new kind of company, people who water your roots, who celebrate your shade, who offer fruit in return. You are learning, perhaps for the first time, that it is not only okay to say no, it's sacred. There's a holiness in keeping your peace, in saving your energy for those whose hearts are genuine. Let those who cannot accept your growth move on. Your branches are meant for those who bring life, not those who demand it without return. This is the season where your soul takes root in truth, where boundaries are not walls but gates, inviting in only the honest and the loving. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. As you stand tall, know this: God honors the strength it takes to change, to outgrow old roles, to welcome what is new and pure. You're not abandoning anyone. You're making room for real connection, for fruitful partnerships, and for the deep peace that only comes when you finally stop handing out your shade to those who never brought a drop of water in return. Imagine a mighty oak standing alone on the hilltop after a storm, its roots deeper and its branches reaching even wider than before. Every scar on its bark marks a season survived, and now, bathed in golden morning light, it is free to stretch skyward without fear of breaking. That's what your journey looks like, beloved. Every choice you made to hold your ground and honor your soul has planted a field of freedom around you. The simple gifts that were once crowded out by anxiety, the easy breath, the quiet hour, the flicker of a new idea, these are sprouting again in your life, springing up in places where old battles have been cleared away. And now, when anyone tries to pull you back into that wilderness, using their tired old games and tired old words, you'll find yourself unmoved, like a sunrise that refuses to hide behind clouds. You are no longer subject to yesterday's threats, because the dawn has announced who you truly are. The person who steps forward today is anchored, not easily shaken, and brimming with quiet power that can't be manipulated or bought. This new chapter is not a return to what once was. It's the fertile beginning of a life lived by design, not by default. Where once you questioned your worth, now you own your story. Where once you hesitated, you now walk with a calm assurance, knowing every step is ordered and every lesson has deepened your wisdom. The old identities that were assigned to you have fallen away, like chaff carried off by a gentle wind. There's a peace in your bones, a steadiness in your voice, and a sense of belonging that flows from the inside out. This is your appointed time, your harvest season. The world will notice the quiet confidence radiating from you, and even the ones who once tried to shake your faith will recognize they cannot unseat what God has planted. Stand tall, chosen one. What you're living now is not just a reward for what you've endured. It's the launching ground for dreams you haven't even dared to speak aloud. Step into this sunrise, fully and freely, because this is your promised land, and you are finally living in it, whole, restored, and gloriously unafraid.